Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Criterion Connection. I'm Scott.
And I'm Joe.
And I decided, and by I mean Wade and Joe were like, hey, dude, we need to do a Godzilla movie, and you haven't done one with Joe yet. And I was like, you know what? You're right. We haven't. We need to rectify that. And so I was thinking, okay, what Godzilla movie can we do that's part of the Criterion collection? And I thought, you guys did the first one way back. And then you did Godzilla versus, I forgot what it was called, but the one with Ghidorah.
It's that one.
Yeah, but it has an Attack of the Astro Monster, I think, something like that.
No,
the Godzilla fan.
We did the Ghidorah, the three-headed monster.
Three-headed monster, that's it. And me and Wade did Godzilla versus Biollante, from the Heisei era. And the other ones were for show. But I thought it would be fun to, since we did a Heisei recently, we did like the very first Godzilla. What if we did that middle part, that end of the Showa era, which I think 5-10 years later we get the Heisei era. What if we talked about the end, that middle part, that transition? But there's a problem. We can't do Terror of Mechagodzilla because it's a direct sequel to the movie we're reviewing, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, which 1974, directed by Jun Fukuda. Featuring the acting talents of easy for me to say, Masaaki Daimon as Keisuke, who some of you might know from Ultraman 80, and a lot of you have probably seen in Lady Snowblood. That surprised me. I didn't expect a movie I recognized on that. We got Reiko Tajima as Sayako, who's done a lot of anime stuff for Leiji Matsumoto's work, so like Captain Harlock, Galaxy Railway, all that stuff. Great stuff. Check it out. Kazuya Aoyama as Masahiko, who the only thing of note he really did other than this, he only had 6 acting credits, was a series called Zone Fighter.
Hell yeah.
Which I looked into, and it was it was essentially like their version of Ultraman, but they had the advantage of, because it was Toho, they would bring Godzilla monsters in. And that was like their big hook. It was like, oh, you'll see him team up with Godzilla or Rodan or something. And I thought that was kind of interesting. And plus, we get some Godzilla regulars, people who've been in other movies before. We get Akihiko Harada as Professor Miyajima, who was also, I believe he was in the first movie.
That I couldn't tell you.
But he was also known for the Samurai trilogy, which I was also surprised by. Hey, more movies I've heard of, other than, seeing, oh, they did Super Sentai and what have you. And we have Hiroshi Koizuma as Professor Wagura, and very well-established tokusatsu actor Shin Kushida as Nambra, the Interpol agent, who, trust me, if you've seen Taiyo Sentai Sun Vulcan, I don't know what series of Kamen Rider he did, but he did Kamen Rider, and he did at least one series of Ultraman. So he's done all the heavyweights of tokusatsu. So you're definitely in good company here. So this movie kind of frustrates me at the beginning. It always does. The last time I watched this, it frustrated me, and this time it frustrated me because you got this really cool idea. You've got the Mechagodzilla, and they have, you see it like it erupts out of a volcano. You see the big boulder, almost like an egg, and he comes out of it, but it's regular Godzilla. And there's little nods to the audience that we know it's not real, because his roar is different. His atomic breath is orange instead of blue. And when he starts fighting, you see like little pieces of his scales are coming off.
There's also another really subtle difference that I picked up on pretty early too. And it goes into the actors, because when he's in like regular Godzilla form, you notice that he's much more aggressive.
Yes.
And brutal.
Yeah, well, so much so that he draws blood.
Yeah.
He rips Anguirus's jaw open, and you see blood, which surprised the hell out of me. And I already saw this movie at least 2 other times before, and I always forget that there's blood at the beginning.
And that's another big thing, is how there's a lot more various blood showing up in this film than in other Godzillas.
Yeah, especially at the end, in that end fight.
But I just remember, like, I think it's such a credit to the actors in the suits where it's just, like, the person playing disguised Mechagodzilla, the body language is different, the way he, like, moves and interacts with things is so aggressive and so brutal. It's like all of these really kind of subtle nods that you would think could be overlooked because this is a franchise. Like, I'm pretty sure this is 20 years after the original, roughly.
Somewhat, yes.
Yeah, I think it was 54 for the first one, and this is 74. You could have, like, overlooked it.
Well, especially with how many movies there have been, they probably could have just been like, nobody cares.
Yeah, could have easily overlooked it, but it's these really small things that they do that allows you to, in this, like, well-established franchise, the fans, it's like, it's not right. Like, his screech is weird. You know, he's a lot more high-pitched. The roar is off. The atomic breath is off. And, like, he's just really, like, mean.
Yeah.
Like, unnecessarily mean and brutal.
For this point in the franchise.
Yeah, for this era.
Because he was fully in his Godzilla is good guy.
Yeah,
phase.
this is we're still in that kind of Showa era where it's he had already made the turn to a good guy and was kind of this lovable monster protector at this point.
Low-key goof.
And, well, not very low-key.
Not in this one. Well, not so much in this one.
Yeah, but you just kind of, it's like immediately the audience is kind of knows something's up and something's off. And even if it's one of those kind of swerves that they're trying to pull in the audience already knows there's like, okay, if that is real Godzilla, something's wrong. Well, like, and there's something else happening.
Well, it's funny you say it that way. I looked at it as, I think they wanted you to know that it was fake because they wanted to create that idea of, you know, it's not really Godzilla,
right?
But they don't know it's Godzilla.
Yeah, and
you're kind of like, come on, like it gives you that like, come on, guys, like you got to figure this out, you know, because again, it's stuff we noticed, but like in the world of the movie, they're probably like, no, I don't think one person mentioned like, his atomic breath is orange now for some reason. He sounds different.
I think, and I think it plays like it's. For as crazy and out there as the concept is, it is pretty well grounded because I think people, after seeing Godzilla and hearing a roar in person or seeing atomic breath, you're probably not paying attention that close to the details. It's like, this is happening and I am very afraid.
And it also sometimes, especially when you watch older movies, you do wonder sometimes with some of those kinds of effects in those regard, like, is it for the audience or is it for the story, if that makes sense? Like, is it something that's just kind of like when people get mad at a character for speaking English when they should be speaking another language, and it's like, it's probably not for the realism of the movie. It's probably for the audience who they know probably doesn't want to read subtitles.
Yeah,
it could be something like that as well. Like, again, like it's probably not something that in to use a wrestling term, in kayfabe, there may not even be a difference in their atomic breath. It could just, now the roar would be different, obviously, because later on when he's revealed, he does roar like that. But I think maybe something like the atomic breath makes you wonder. But the reason why I said it makes me mad, if you remember, I said it made me mad. What made me mad was the whole disguising Mechagodzilla was pointless because he is revealed. They even say like, "Oh, Godzilla, you showed up before we could enact on our plan," or something along those lines. And Godzilla fights him like so hard that eventually the stuff comes off. And I could look at that and say, okay, he foiled their plan before they could achieve it. Fine. But I ask you, because they don't tell you.
Are you asking what the plan is?
What was their plan with a fake Godzilla?
I feel like the plan was they were going to have Mechagodzilla ruin the goodwill of real Godzilla. Because we talked about how Godzilla, he's a good guy at this point. I think they wanted to fool everybody into thinking that Godzilla is evil. And when Godzilla did show up, allow the humans to attack real Godzilla. It's not a great plan.
But and that's the thing. Even if you're correct, why?
A great. I'm just saying. I think that was the idea. Was they were going to ruin Godzilla's reputation.
Yeah.
These Martians, they're not very smart.
And what's even funnier about all this, it's Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, okay? We have the whole, like, Mechagodzilla disguised as Godzilla. Mm-hmm. He's revealed as Mechagodzilla. And they have, like, a fight. And then the whole rest of the movie, until the actual reveal, has nothing to do with either.
Yeah.
It's about finding King Caesar. And trying to figure out how to summon King Caesar.
That is...
Because there's this family who they I don't know if they worship him, but they at least like they respect him. They have like they work at like a shrine and everything, and they're trying to figure out how to summon him, but they can't.
Don't forget about the statue.
And the statue is the whole purpose. The science team who was trying to like, because there's this whole thing with space titanium. Which, they figure out... That's what they call it, people. I
know.
It's called Space Titanium.
It makes me
laugh. And I'm so mad that I didn't think to name my band Space Titanium. Because that's a great name.
It's such a funny, like, thing for me when I'm watching. It's just like, yes, this is Space Titanium.
Like, all they had to do was be like, it's a stronger form of titanium we found. We believe to come from space called Titanius. You know, something like that. Once you call it space, it makes me think of the space Coke from Cheech and Chong's next movie.
Yeah.
Like...
But yeah, the King Caesar stuff also really frustrates me too.
It didn't frustrate me. I just think it's funny that you have Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, and then like low key we're introducing this new monster that's never appeared before.
Yeah.
And that it's the whole point of they're trying to get this statue to the shrine at the right time so they can put it on the thing, summon Caesar, and and Caesar stops Mechagodzilla because it was foretold.
Yeah, I love the prophecy of King Caesar, guy we've never heard of before, coming in to stop Space Godzilla, who's never been invented.
No, that's a different guy. He comes later.
Mechagodzilla. To stop Mechagodzilla. Somebody we haven't seen before.
But at least he's in the title.
Yeah.
He's in the title. You know, going in. When you pay your money for a ticket, you're getting Godzilla and you're getting Mechagodzilla.
I think it frustrates me just because, like, I'm not a King Caesar fan.
Well, how could you? Because when they finally summon him, he doesn't do much. Yeah. He just chills in his little mouth for a while. It's like...
Yeah.
And then I think he pops out for like a little bit, does a little bit here and there.
He fights, so there's that big fight at the end it's between Godzilla and King Caesar and Mechagodzilla. And King Caesar like kind of tussles one-on-one first and kind of can go toe-to-toe. Like he's got I-beams, Mechagodzilla has I-beams, and they go back and forth and he like headbutts him. Then Godzilla at the very end is able to get a hold of Mechagodzilla and hold him in place as King Caesar is like headbutting him some more. Yeah. It's for me, it's the King Caesar plot element is it's frustrating just because I guess it's disappointing for me. I
think also
I would have loved to see Anguirus get more involved.
If there was a separate King Caesar movie, I think this could have worked.
Maybe.
Because again, that is a good chunk of the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, technically, you do get Godzilla fighting Mechagodzilla. You can't say they didn't give you what you asked for.
That's true. There's a good amount of like human side intrigue going on.
And the cast is good. They have good chemistry with each other. And of course, my favorite thing is every time they kill one of the aliens, they're revealed to be space gorillas, which. Somebody saw Planet of the Apes and thought, we need to put this in our movie.
Yeah.
And they were like, but they're aliens. They're not apes. You see, in Planet of the Apes, they were apes. They weren't aliens. Like, fuck it. They're a bunch of space apes pretending to be humans, and one of the guy we'll make him look a little different. Well, what do we got? I got a number 2 pencil. We'll shade around his eye, little gray,
Yeah.
and he'll be an alien.
It's but on the whole, and this movie again, it's a lot more bloody.
Yeah. Oh, like at the end when
humans.
when Godzilla gets his throat slit and is like busted open,
Yeah.
but out of nowhere, dude turns into and then gets like impaled with all those missiles, turns into a magnet out of nowhere, hulks up like just just like they spit out, and then all of a sudden just miraculously finds the strength to rip Mechagodzilla's head off. Yeah.
And even the people, like the Martians too.
Yeah.
Where they'll just spurt like blood out of their neck. And
Well,
I was
and
like, whoa, this is a little more graphic than I expected.
But if you notice, the blood, all the blood, yes, but what I was going to say was, if you notice, all the blood is from some kind of alien or monster. None of the humans bleed. They might have a cut here and there, but as far as like actual like blood spurting, it only comes from an alien and a monster.
There is only one human bleed that I remember in the movie, and it's when the Interpol agent, I believe, gets into a fight on the ship, and the guy cuts his hand, and you get a really quick flash.
Yeah,
but there is no.
But you only see that close up of his hand. Like,
you don't see it ever again. It's just that really quick, like.
And it's just
frames.
a cut. It's not like he's just like squirting blood.
Yeah. But it's a bloodier Godzilla. It's an interesting idea of something disguised as Godzilla and then getting revealed over time.
Yeah, and the thing that we haven't really touched on is I feel like they really I think what they tried to do, and to varying degrees of success, is I think they wanted a more universal appeal to this one. It had touches of the old Godzilla, where it's a little more serious, a little more dire situation and stuff like that. But then have a little bit of I won't say lighthearted, but just have a little more of that more out there kind of stuff. It's nothing about this felt intentionally goofy.
Yeah, it's an interesting film in the franchise. At least for me, it's got a little of everything, and at times is like way more clever than you would expect it to be.
A lot of these movies actually are. Like, I remember going through and thinking like, oh wow, I thought a lot of these were going to just be like the equivalent of like just a really bad American B movie. Oh, yeah, but no, they do put thought into it. I think a lot of it is more thought goes into it, but it's a matter of how much of that thought is actually able to be achieved. But with that, Joe, I dare ask, would you recommend this movie?
I would. I grew up, I watched all these movies multiple times as a kid.
See, when I was a kid, I didn't watch like a specific movie. I would just turn on like Sci-Fi Channel or something, and there'd be like a Godzilla movie on, and I would just watch it. So I've probably seen all these movies at least once or twice before 2 years ago when my wife and I decided to do the whole franchise. Mm-hmm. But I just didn't know which ones I was watching or how much of each one.
Yeah, and for me, it's strange to come back to these because I watched them as a kid, but no idea about titles, didn't remember really any specifics. It was just I was kind of in that stage of my life where if it had like dinosaurs or monsters, I was going to watch it.
So in other words, you were a child.
Yeah, because
when you're a kid, dinosaurs are the coolest thing ever.
I'm a millennial, that kind of easy dinosaur kid at that time. So Godzilla was in my wheelhouse. I would just watch them and didn't really pay attention to very much. So it is fun to kind of come back and see that a lot of them have a lot more merit than I think some people want to allow, like, to admit.
It depends on who you talk to.
Yeah, you see the Godzilla, like, the drop kick that goes, like, over a few hundred yards, or like some of those like very strange ones.
The dance.
Yeah, the dance.
The nose flick.
But yeah, this is like that. This has always been my kind of era that I loved the most, was all the Showa stuff. So it's fun to come back. So yeah, I would recommend it. I think this is a really good entry in the series. There's a reason why they made several more Mechagodzilla films.
But that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, subscribe, share, Condish Productions. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to let you know whenever a new video is uploaded. Don't forget to check out any of our shorts that are on there as well. We're not just the Criterion Connection. We got some pretty cool shorts that we've made and are going to make in the future. So keep your eyes peeled on that.
We got pretty cool pants too.
But you can't tell because we shoot from here up. But yeah, so that's gonna do it for us. If you saw this movie, did you like it? Did you hate it? Let us know in the comments. And what suggests more movies for us to do, more Godzilla movies, more movies for me to do, because I'm with a lot of these movies, it's virgin eyes. So I'm open to most things. But until next time, or at least my next time, I'm Scott.
And I'm still Joe.
And we'll see you later.